The year of our Lord 2004. As a Nintendo fan, I got the weird cube thing hooked onto my parents' TV with Pikmin, Mario, Zelda, and of course Smash Bros. I was quite happy with those games, but the occasional sleepover by friends made me envy their Grand Theft Auto and Halo machines. As Nintendo was slowly falling out of favor for me, the E3 presentation was around the corner with a bunch of exciting announcements. They showed gameplay for Metroid Prime 2 and Resident Evil 4, mature games, check. But also the Nintendo DS that lets you play innovative new games with the touchscreen and also a better version of Mario 64 on the go. Thanks Nintendo, great show. But then one final trailer was shown, peaceful green fields, lush forests, a stormy steppe. Epic music kicks in and the shadows of riders approaching from the setting sun. Then fast cut to one lonely rider coming towards the horde. Is it? Could it be? As the music crescendos, we see a fully grown Link and the audience is going buck wild. Gone are the days of cartoon Link. This new Zelda game looks much darker, grittier and inspired by Lord of the Rings. After this presentation, it was easily the most anticipated game, especially for me, who was at the time a huge Zelda fan. This is Noob Navigator, and this is why Twilight Princess aged like fine wine. I not only played through Ocarina of Time several times, I also really loved Wind Waker. After all these years, it is still my favorite Zelda game. And I also had a Gold Zelda Special Edition Game Boy Advance SP with Minish Cap, which is still the best 2D Zelda game. But the new Zelda game was still 2.5 years away from release. As Eiji Aoyama, the producer of the game, later said in an interview, the team tried to nail the more mature look, cause the general Zelda fan hated the cel shading cartoon look of Wind Waker, with the sole exception of me of course. So they listened to their fans and made the graphics more appealing for them. Nintendo listened to their fans, something they have never done before and will never do again. But the audience loved the trailer, so Aoyama and his team was motivated to continue the work. At E3 2004, they have simply shown a small tech demo with the new graphics and the horse riding gameplay, but the unique gameplay hook like time travel or controlling the wind, the story and even the title was missing. A year later, at E3 2005, Nintendo delivered on those missing aspects. The game was now called Twilight Princess and featured a two-world system, like in A Link to the Past, the normal world map and the Twilight Realm. In one, you can run around as Link and in the other as a wolf. All that new ideas needed a longer development time and the game was pushed to next year. And finally, on December of 2006, Twilight Princess released on GameCube and on the Wii. Together with my brother, I saved up money and my dad drove us to the next city. In my country, the release date fell on a holiday, so not every shop had open, and after an odyssey, we finally got our Wii with Twilight Princess. After a few rounds of Wii Sports Tennis, I was sucked into the world of Twilight Princess. It was all Nintendo promised. I loved it. After 7 or 8 years, I played through the game again, but over time, the game has fallen a bit out of favor. Maybe it was too similar to the Big Brother Ocarina of Time. Maybe all the prayers of the fans were answered because Nintendo bent to their will and therefore lost some of its charm. The dungeons appear in the exact same order as Ocarina of Time: forest, fire, water, filled with familiar enemies and items. The darkness the fans so desperately wanted is shown in form of the Twilight Realm, a sepia world with eerie music and otherworldly sounds that you spend a bit too much time in. Trapped in the body of a wolf with only a few mechanics at your disposal in contrast to the wide array of possibilities as a human. The mechanics felt a bit formulaic, predictable. I had a good time playing it, but not as much as when I first started it and have seen it through my hype glasses. At the time I last played it, the Zelda formula felt worn out. But now, after the completely different Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I was eager to play a more curated, smaller Zelda game. Now, after 70 years, oh my god, I'm old, I'm on my third playthrough. So much time has passed that I can't remember certain aspects of the game and it feels fresh. The dungeons are bigger and more interconnected than I had in mind, with some completely new dungeon ideas like the giant cabin in the snowy mountains. The bosses are grand and epic, underlined with a great soundtrack. You can find similar items than in previous Zelda games, but totally different use cases for it, like walking on magnetic ceilings with your iron boots. The cutscenes are downright avant-garde and can tell complete stories without voice acting. They help curate the dark tone of the game, but also support the quirky character moments. The gritty game fans wanted back then is still there. There are themes of oppression, seduction and abuse of power, but there are also funny light-hearted moments with bravery and courage, which are infectious and give hope. The game has certainly grown alongside me through the different stages of my teenage years and adult life. Like fine wine, Twilight Princess needed some time to be fully appreciated. The bouquet seems bland at first, the perfect wine for a teenager, but after some years you seem to notice the fine flavors that were hidden there all along. Twilight Princess was not only a formative game for me in my youth, but is still a great game today. Thanks for watching.